These amazing digital circus characters were cut from the show, but who are they and why were they removed in the first place? The one character that's the most interesting to me is Dobby, the dog character that we saw in the dorm hall who actually abstracted. But what makes him interesting is the fact that Jax is actually Dobby's replacement. If you look at all the circus members and the characters who abstracted, there are some types that we can see, like Pomni and Kaufmo being similar, Kinger and Queenie being similar, and Jax and Dobby being the only two animal characters that we can see. If we look at Dobby's orange skin and Jax's purple skin, they look as if they're made out of the same material, whatever it is. Doesn't seem to be plastic, doesn't seem to be cloth, but something in between. Dobby is one of the nicest characters I could ever look at. If you look at his face, he looks all nice and sweet with a smile, whereas Jax is incredibly rude to everyone. Like when he literally stepped on Gangle's mask after it broke, shattering it into more pieces. Or like when he told Ragatha that he actually put centipedes in her room, which goes to show that he's pretty mean, which means that Jax could be the opposite of Dobby. But could this also mean that Queenie, another abstracted character, was also the person who came before Kinger and Kinger replaced her? Most people theorize that Queenie and Kinger actually knew each other, and after Queenie died, that's why Kinger went insane, as we can see him literally off into space most of the time he's shown on screen, as when they're in the glowing hole and Gangle says something, Kinger looks down at Gangle, doesn't say anything for 5 seconds, and then screams. As well, there's a scene in the beginning of the show where Kinger literally starts glitching all over the place, but not like an abstraction, just like a funny meme. But if Kinger actually replaced Queenie, then we wouldn't have an explanation for Kinger's insanity. And this could actually mean that Queenie was an unimportant character that was just cannon fodder. But since Jax and Dobby appear to be opposites, could this mean that Queenie and Kinger are also opposites? We know that Kinger is a king chess piece and Queenie's a queen chess piece, so we have that there. Queenie is a white chess piece, whereas Kinger's a black chess piece, so we have that there too. And since Kinger is insane, I'm gonna assume that Queenie was probably more intelligent and calm. But this means that they actually weren't married or even in a relationship together, because Gooseworks put out a tweet confirming that there can't be any romance in the Amazing Digital Circus when she said, "Reminder that there's not and never was going to be any romance in Digital Circus. That's just not the type of show I'm interested in making. However, you're still allowed to ship whatever you want. For the love of God, stop finding excuses to attack each other," which is in reference to all the people on Twitter getting mad at each other on their theories of who's dating who, which is not the side of Twitter I go on. But this almost confirms that Kinger replaced Queenie, as we've never seen the same character type alive in the same time frame, at least not yet. If it is possible that it happens, then this means that my entire theory is wrong, and it does confirm that Queenie and Kinger were a couple. For example, Gooseworks said on Tumblr that in the next episode we're going to focus on a character we haven't met yet, which means we're getting a new character and possibly could be one of the types. For example, if they're a clown or jester, we will know that Pomni isn't a replacement for anyone, as there can't be two clown types and the theories still be true. So this would mean a lot for the circus, as Jax didn't replace Dobby, and abstracting doesn't mean you're instantly gonna get some replacement character. But if the theory is true, we know that Pomni replaced Kaufmo, but who did Kaufmo replace? Well, that would be this character who looks like a sad clown, almost as if he was a fuse between Kaufmo and Gangle, and he acted probably just like Kaufmo, but in a more sad and mopey way, by acting sad all the time, and no one really liked him that much, just like Kaufmo. As we know that Ragatha fake laugh at his jokes, Gangle fake laugh at his jokes, and Kinger didn't even want to go see Kaufmo after they had did the intro in the beginning of the episode. And since we know that you abstract by being too lonely, as shown by Kaufmo's because no one liked him, it could have easily happened to this clown character as well. But if you didn't know, Ragatha also has a replacement, which is the sock puppet that we see here. And the reason that I think Ragatha replaced the sock puppet specifically is because they both are similar, as they're made out of cloth rather than being plastic toys like most characters are, and they both have something in their hair, with the sock puppet having a flower and Ragatha having a bow. And just looking at their designs, I would say they look a little bit alike. It's unknown what the sock puppet would have acted like, but it looks like she was a nice person just like how Ragatha is, as when Pomni entered the circus, Ragatha was always caring towards Pomni and made sure to explain everything so that Pomni would get it, which kinda looks like what the sock puppet would do as well. But we know that all these characters have to listen to Caine, as he's in control of the circus and makes all the adventures for them to do so that they don't abstract, and he can't force them not to abstract, as we know that he doesn't have control over their minds. But what if we had a different version of Caine? What would his name be? Blaine, Rain, Train? Well, we actually know who it is, and it's Pain. Pain is a version of Caine that was never used to be the ringleader of the Amazing Digital Circus, which is currently Caine's position, but it could be possible that Pain was meant to be in Caine's position as the ringleader, telling everyone what to do. But the thing is, we don't see a mouth on him. We literally just see two noses and an ear, which means that he maybe listened to other people, or maybe he's someone working behind the scenes, listening to everything that's happening and acting accordingly in the show. We'll just have to keep watching to see. Pain was actually first drawn by Gooseworks as more of an amateur sketch that she was doing when she was bored, and when she posted it on Twitter, a user by the name of Trixel decided to take in their own hands to make it into a full 3D model, almost as if it was a full-fledged character in the Amazing Digital Circus, which actually could be added later on down the line. Or, since we know that Caine can control literally everything inside the Amazing Digital Circus, he could change his own appearance to look just like Pain for a day. But there were also some versions of characters that we just haven't seen, but we did see them in the behind the scenes video, which goes over the old concept drawing. One of the characters we see is a snowman with buttons for eyes, which means he could have been the replacement for Ragatha, or he could have been an abstracted character that they decided not to include in the dorm hall. We also see a sort of butterfly character, which wouldn't be okay for the circus, as Caine and Bubble are the only two characters who are flying around because they have control over the circus. So if this butterfly character could fly around and it was just a human, then that'd be really weird. Or maybe that's a possible redesign for Bubbles, as we see Bubble right above the butterfly. We also see what appears to be a sort of abstracted human. It's a head that's black, just like all abstractions, and it has similar eyes, but only two of them, and we know that all abstractions have multiple eyes. So it's possible that this could have been the base form for abstracting, but they decided to go with something more crazy to make it look a lot cooler, which if they did that, I'm glad they did, because Kaufmo's abstracted form is actually kind of cool. But we also see the actual version of Pomni that was first introduced, and we can call it Frogme. Basically, Pomni was supposed to be a guy and instead was going to be a frog that was tall and skinny. And another detail that goes along with it is that Jax was actually supposed to be a girl in the beginning, but later they swapped the genders for whatever reason, but I'm glad they did, because the show wouldn't be what it is today without it. We also see a redesign of Zooble, but you can tell why they deleted this one. What the heck is this? But let me know your theories of the deleted characters down in the comments. Thanks for watching, subscribe, and click on this video here.